Wellness is definitely a priority of mine, and I'm very aware that you take good care of yourself. With the tours, the travel, the hosting, your job does take you everywhere. In those situations, how do you continue to stay on top of your game, physically and mentally?
I think it's about the routine, and it's very hard to, it's kind of counterintuitive to me saying that, because your routine is thrown up in the air. But your routine at the end of the day is the same thing. You wake up, you do your day, you go to bed. Well, if you wake up, do my sit-ups or do my press-ups, I feel like I've done that. It's what my brain knows, and that routine, the part that I control it. I don't allow me to be like, oh, I'm a bit tired, I'm not going to do that today, or I'm not going to check my emails in the morning so I know that I've done it. Or at the end of the night, I always write down all the things I feel like I haven't accomplished in the day, or notes or things I need to do. I'll write them down at the end of the day. So I wake up in the morning, I can see my notes, exactly what I need to tick off. So I feel like I'm not wasting time.
That's very disciplined.
I just feel like time's so valuable. Why would I waste it? I still like to go out and party and have a good time, but I still keep up with all the things that I've just said, because therefore I feel like I've allowed myself to have that work life, play life, and kind of, it's a good mix. It's healthy to do that.
It's so healthy. So on a casual Monday morning, what are we likely to find you doing?
At the gym, full body, actually an upper body workout on the Monday mornings, definitely.
Oh, getting the beach muscles ready for the weekend, yeah?
Monday is always 50% off at Soho House. I'm not going to lie, sometimes I may find myself there.
Are you giving away your age, AJ? It's not for me. Sad times.
You can come with me after we play the game of paddle.
Done deal. It's on.
But no, I feel like I'm sat at a laptop most of the time at the minute, which is the irony. Just kind of making sure you stay fit and healthy. But yeah, at the minute, laptop seems to be my best friend.
Is there an element of being in the public eye that puts a slight pressure on you still looking a certain way physically? As a former dancer, let's be honest, the Strictly team, everybody's got good bods.
Yeah.
So moving out of it, in my world, often we tend to see people...
the extremes, like footballers, like bloody hell. He's had a very healthy summer, hasn't he?
Is that something you're aware of?
I think about, for me personally, like I feel good when I'm fit. And then therefore, when I feel good because I'm fit, I mentally feel good. So it's all hand in hand.
Right.
Like, it's not about, yes, if I'm going to do a photo shoot in 2 weeks, I'm probably going to eat a little bit less and work on my bis and tris and my core a little bit more. I'm not going to lie, but
get those abs popping.
I enjoy that. Like, that makes me happy. It's not a pressure. It's like, it's a good thing. It's a good pressure. It's healthy. Yeah. But I'm not, if I want to eat dessert or that, like just being on holiday for a little bit, like, yeah, I put on 5 or 6 pounds, but I wasn't too stressed about it.
Yeah.
I was a little bit stressed at the end. I was like, why didn't I do this photo shoot at the beginning of the holiday when I looked ripped?
That's definitely the right mindset to have, is doing it through enjoyment rather than aesthetical deliverable.
And if I was just going to do like aesthetics, like I would just literally do biceps, triceps and sit-ups. That's all I do all day. Yeah. Whereas most of my trainings, it's more about like strong, big compound movements, clean press. Like that's for me, so my back feels good. I feel like if I'm fit and strong, if I'm walking into a meeting, if I'm trying to do too many things in the day, like I'm fit mentally and physically, I can keep going. I can keep typing away on my laptop, or I can get across town when I need to be. Like if I'm not fit, you can't do any of that stuff, can you?
No, you can't. You can't.
As much as you
can't hustle at pace.
You can't.
And that is what we like to do, AJ.
You've got to keep moving, like you. You're like, I get my steps in at the same time. Oh my God, the cutest little baby ever. It's so cute.
Love that. Podcasting through a pub. 4 years on Strictly, without doubt, puts you in the public eye. And with that comes huge intrigue and interest in your personal life and dating life. Curtis, your brother, went on Love Island.
Yeah.
His profile skyrockets.
Crazy.
As his older brother, were you able to offer him any guidance on how to manage that?
Kurt's controlled chaos in the best possible way. Like when he did Love Island, I was kind of like, okay, cool. You need a little bit of a journey. He had like if you saw the show, it was a complete car crash multiple times on that show. But the one thing with Curtis that's really important, he does stay true to himself. He'll just say as it is. Good, bad, indifferent. It doesn't really matter. He'll just say it. And I think that's one thing that made him so likable on that show, Love Island, because he never watched the show. He never even watched one episode.
No way.
And that's what makes him as a character on that show very different than everybody else that was going on to it. Yes, it was a business move at the end of the day. Yes, you're going to get millions of followers on Instagram, but Kurt was like, free holiday, free food, good-looking girls, and getting paid.
Why not?
Can't really complain. Nothing can go too wrong, can it?
It also can, though, and we've seen it where people do struggle post going on big shows like that, because there is a huge amount of gain in profile, interest,
the problem
invasion.
Is the support system that you've had before and afterwards. If you've got a solid family and friends around you before, you stick with that solid friends and family afterwards. Because most people, the sad things that happen with some of the people that passed away, unfortunately, taking their life. From my outside, I don't know personally, but you see the watches. You just spent 40k on an AP, and you've got the Mercedes that you spent paying £1,500 a month on. You come to understand your finances afterwards. You've got a VAT bill, you've got a corporation tax, you've got your personal tax bill, and they spent all that money, and then financially it becomes too much. And that's one sad thing that I think is more detriment to maybe our British way of we don't talk about money, or maybe it's to do with our education system because we're not taught about certain things like that. But it is sad, but there are so many more positives than there are negatives. And I think that's one thing that I always look at. Yes, the negatives usually get highlighted. Say you have thousands of comments, you still remember the one or two negative ones. Like,
always.
It's human nature, unfortunately. But for me, it's always been about like, well, I'm going to take the positive. We all have them down days, and I think it's important to be okay with that. It's natural to feel a bit like, a bit zapped today or not feel 100%. That's not a bad thing. That's just being human.
And on those days where you're feeling a bit zapped or a bit down, what's your little hack for picking yourself back up and turning it around? Because I think there is a real art to that, and everybody has their own unique way of doing it. And the people that listen to this podcast take a lot away from each and every single guest, because everybody has a different take on it.
For me, it's kind of like everybody has their own personal thing that they kind of connect to. For me, it's my physical exercise. It's as much physical as it is mental. But just picking up the phone, happily talking to my mom, my granddad especially. I try and speak to my granddad every single day.
No way!
I walk back from the gym, speak to him for 5-10 minutes, and we just talk about usually the same thing every day, like the headline newspaper, the weather, British again, and the usual, if something happened a little bit more in my life. But every single day I talk to him. And I think that kind of routine is just nice because it removes you from any stresses or things. It's not, to use the word as a distraction in a bad way, but it's a good distraction.
Yeah.
Like when you do, for me, paddle or something like that. It's fun. I forget about all the other things. Like I've got my 1 hour. Don't get hold of me right now unless it's very important. That's my time. And we spoke about this. You like to do your run, like that's your time. And it's very important to make sure that that's within the day, like whatever that is. I always like to have lunch. Like I work at home. So I like to have my egg on toast and sit down and watch 15 minutes of just like crap TV, have my egg on toast, my cup of tea. I only need that amount of time and then I'm fine. Let's go again. But I always have to have that sort of moment in the day. Makes me happy, yeah.
You time is so important.